I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running, toes they gon' take a refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Unfazed, featuring your boy AJ and JJ. We got a lot to discuss today, maybe even some NFL, of course, some NBA playoffs. But before we get too deep into that, JJ, Joe Jordan, how you feeling, my boy?
I'm feeling great. Predictions are coming into play. Feeling good about the conference finals. We're going to talk about it. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Let's dive right into it, man, because my boy, Joe Jordan, he was right. He was 100% right about the Western semifinals. I had the Denver Nuggets in 7. My boy JJ Joe Jordan had OKC in 7. First off, kudos to us both for predicting it to go 7 games. At least we both got that part right. We knew it was going to be a hard-fought series, but OKC, as y'all see in the highlights, they came out with the victory in Game 7, pulled it out. Now they advanced. They're currently playing the Timberwolves right now. I think the score last time I checked is 23-20 at the end of the first quarter in favor of the Timberwolves, but we're not going to let that, get in the way of what our predictions are actually going to be before the game start. But we're going to get to that in a little bit. Before we get to that, is this the changing of the guards? We've seen a lot of the old heads get eliminated, Joe, and we've seen a lot of new faces, young talent entering the conference finals. So you think that series presented the changing of the guards, or you think the old heads still, they got something to say about it in the future?
I do think it's a changing of the guard, and I know since the Steph Curry KD Warriors, they were the last team in the NBA to win back-to-back championships. Since 2018, there's been a different champion every single year, and it's funny because Kawhi won, but we didn't expect Kawhi to go crazy in the era. Now, when he went to the Clippers, they got high praise, right? People thought they could have made a run. But then then the Lakers win, but I don't think we thought LeBron would come back and win again the next year. We didn't think it would be a repeat. But when Giannis won, he's an up-and-coming star. Okay, he should take over. He haven't been at the second round since. Then eventually Jokic wins, right? And we like, oh, Jokic gonna get back. And then he hasn't been in the second round since. That's another thing. All these teams who won since the Warriors haven't got past the second round. But yes, it's a changing of the guard, AJ. In my opinion, predicting it early, I'm going to say it right now. In May 20th, 2025, this will be the first back-to-back champions we will see since 2017, 2018 Golden State Warriors. I'm calling it right now. Wow. And the reason why, because this. When you look at the nowadays NBA, there's a lot of switching of the stars. Guys going from team to team. A lot of trades. A lot of signings, different places. Contract up, they don't re-sign. You see that a lot nowadays. But the way OKC Thunder built this team, they built it from the ground up. Most of these guys on their team, they drafted these guys. And then they added veteran presence, guys like Alex Caruso, Then you got Hartenstein, who has some playoff experience, to just be a cherry on top of what they already had to help them get groomed into that NBA champion. Then you got the MVP. Do you know if the OKC Thunder win the championship, this will be the first time since Michael Jordan and Steph Curry to win Finals MVP as a Finals MVP and regular MVP in the same season. First time. Since Jordan and Steph Curry. We talking about elite category. Jordan, Steph Curry, Magic Johnson. Like guys like that. That's an elite category he'll be in. So I do think OKC is a scary team because they're young. They lack experience. We saw the Nuggets series. And then going forward, if they win a championship, curtains. Close the door. Show over. It's curtains. So I do think they change the guard. Steph Curry, out of all the like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, I don't see Jokic as like one of them old heads, right? But Steph Curry, LeBron, all that stuff. Out of all those guys, Steph Curry is the guy I can see winning another championship because I can see him getting a piece around. We saw how valuable Steph Curry is this playoffs. Once he got hurt, they just didn't. They look terrible. They're like one of the worst teams in the whole playoffs for real. But if they can add a piece, there are a lot of talks about Giannis stuff like that. If they can add a piece, I can see the Warriors potentially winning the championship. But LeBron, KD, those guys, I'm sorry, man. Just hang up your shoes on the top of on the wires and leave it. Because you're not winning the championship. But yeah, it's definitely a change in the ball.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, and I like how the angle that you took because I wasn't gonna take the same angle. I'm looking at specifically this postseason and what I've seen this postseason. We looking at Ant eliminating LeBron. I know Steph didn't play, but Steph is on the Warriors. So Steph, Jimmy, Draymond getting him up out of there. We looking at the Pacers getting rid of the Bucks with Dame, and I know Giannis ain't quite an old head, but he old enough. He inching towards 30s, if not 30 already. You know what I mean? When you look at the top teams, at the top of their conferences right now between the Pacers and the Knicks, the Timberwolves and OKC, these are now becoming some of the best players in the league. I'm a touch on Denver in a little bit, probably a little bit with this next topic, just a touch. But like, man, is Jokic still the best player in the league? I'm not sure. Do we give that crown to SGA now because he knocked him out, especially given how SGA played in Game 7 compared to how Jokic played? I mean, Jokic looked like he got exposed here and there in this series. You know what I mean? Especially defensively. We harp on Luka's defense all the time. We don't talk enough about Jokic's defense. My goodness, it's abysmal. It's abysmal. But one thing I also want to point out is a lot of these older players, what I'm seeing is it's hard for them to get through a full season, let alone a full grueling playoff run, right? So like KD, he got hurt right before the start of the playoffs, and the Phoenix Suns didn't make the playoffs, didn't even make the play-in. He didn't finish the season strong. LeBron actually had a nice little, couple of days off before the playoffs, had some time to rest. Then got into a grueling series with the Wolves, and yeah, he finished the series, but he came out of it, limping with a bad knee injury, right? Because he's banging with Julius Randle in the paint, which was a problem. Steph Curry, I know a lot of people. Again, we talked about this before. Steph Curry going down in Game 1 against the Timberwolves, and a lot of people are like, what happens is injuries, this, that, and the third. But people forget. He just came off of a grueling 7-game series with the Rockets where they were super physical with him, bumping him off his spots. They played him an insane amount of minutes in Game 7. So Game 1, you trying to put your foot on the gas and, there goes a hamstring. He's out for the series. It's like when I look at how this went down, even in series with OKC, since we're talking about that series specifically against Denver, when I look at how that series played out with MPJ playing through injury. When I look at Aaron Gordon playing through a messed up hamstring. When I look at how that series played out, especially in Aaron Gordon's case, Aaron Gordon went out on a play where OKC's youth was getting to him in a way. Like OKC not giving up. Like, they down, I don't know how many points, like, what was it, 10, 15 points towards the end. Alex Caruso and them boys stripping the ball, and he going for a loose ball and come up on his hamstring. Now, Aaron Gordon's not an old guy, but you can tell, like, OKC the youngest team in the NBA. So, like, them young guns is putting constant pressure on the ball. They hustling, they moving, they not giving up, they taking a lot of threes, they getting back on transition. And if you are an older team or you play old or anything like that, you up out of here. Look at how the Wolves play. Look at how the Pacers play. Look at how the Knicks play. You know what I mean? Look at how OKC play. These are, for the most part, fast-paced, up and down teams that'll play you 94 feet. And so that's how I'm kind of looking at it. I think the between Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, SGA, and Brunson, you looking at 4 of the best players in the league, 4 of them probably in their prime, if not inching towards their prime. And I think that's just the direction that the league is headed. The old guys are on their way out. Even some of the guys that are not really old, but they're inching towards like the back end of their prime, are also kind of like making their way out. And the young guns is on the come up.
Now, I will say, Giannis, I don't see Giannis doing anything with the Bucks. He would have to leave to get back in this conversation with championships, all right? But Jokic, on the other hand, I think the Nuggets are still set up. I think the Nuggets still have opportunity to be back in the finals next year. And you look at what they had, the roster had this year. I had no expectation of them going far in the playoffs. I did not. They beat the Clippers, who I had the Clippers beating, and they pushed OKC to 7 games with this roster. Yeah. Like let's be real. Like, when you watch that game, the experience is overflowing over your screen. They just playing above their talent. They really are. Like, they defense stepped up in the playoffs when they were abysmal the whole season, for real. They fired Mike Malone. I feel like this coach did a really good job. They got rid of the GM, which was an issue because they didn't put the right pieces around Jokic. So Jokic came out the best player and said, we don't have the team to win a championship, which I love that he said. So you just put the right pieces around Jokic. Jokic is still good. Like, I still think Jokic is the best player in the NBA. I get what you're saying as far as being exposed and stuff like that. My thing with Jokic is this. The type of, like, think about all the wide open threes these dudes miss. Like, you got guys like Straw. You dependent on MPJ with a messed up shoulder who can't hit a three to save his life. Only one game he had in this whole series that was really good. Westbrook, who shot terrible this series, had all the praise against the Clippers, but everybody got quiet against the OKC Thunder. He was terrible.
Don't say that too loud. Don't say that too loud. You know, the Russell Westbrook fans, they come at you. They come at you for going there at Russ. I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna lie. I told somebody, I said, listen, I think Russell Westbrook fans are worse than LeBron fans. How everybody try to put on LeBron fans? Russell Westbrook fans are wow. But
they don't play, bro. They don't play.
but yeah, like Westbrook, Struthers come in one day and then he has a good game. And you throw him in the game 7, he looks like who he looked like the whole year. You know, like Christian Brown, the 3-point shooter, he's probably a bad 3-point shooter in game 7. So they don't have the right pieces around Jokic. And if they and AJ, if you the GM, who want to play with Jokic? Like, Jokic is not a high usage player. When you look at the usage rate, he's not up in the top of the list. But yeah, he's still averaging a 10 assists a game. And he's a team, like, he's willing passer. He will find you. And if you are a scorer like Jamal Murray, he will let you cook. So I think the Nuggets aren't, I'm not going to say fully changing the guard when you want to throw, if you want to throw Jokic in that power, I think Jokic is still in that mix. Giannis, if he wants a ring, you got to leave Milwaukee. That ain't happening in Milwaukee. It ain't.
I think I agree with you on Giannis, especially with the current situation they got with Dame right now, who is a part of that crowd for me of the changing of the guard. In the case of Jokic though, like, you're right, they gotta build around Jokic, but we gotta look at the rest of the competition, bro. Like, the competition not slowing down. I firmly believe that was the best matchup for the Wolves next round. If they were to play the Wolves, I was picking the Wolves to beat them over the Nuggets. Like, I didn't, even though I had them going far, I didn't think they was going to win the championship this year. And so the way I look at the Denver Nuggets, I think they're a really solid team. But the Wolves, I think, are going to be better next year. OKC, with all this experience, especially if they win the championship, they're going to be better next year. We ain't even got to the Eastern Conference. If we talking about being a champion, not just winning the West, we haven't gotten to the Eastern Conference and the teams that's over there that have potential to get better as well. So
Yeah,
we
Houston.
gonna see what they do. Right, you got a young and up and coming Houston team that's on the rise.
Who's trying to
So
get Giannis?
who exactly? Who? Right, exactly, bruh. So we gonna see, and like who? I mean, the Mavs may be on the come up too if they get the young gun from Duke.
That's true.
So you know, Cooper Flag. So that's I'm not completely counting them out by any stretch. It's
Mhm.
Jokic. It's Jokic. But at the same time, I am looking like y'all gonna have to do something
They had to.
because
Yes.
they can't keep the same exact team. Like you said, they can't keep the same exact team and expect to get there because as great as he is, bruh, these other teams are better. They just better at this point.
Mhm.
OKC, Minnesota, these teams are better than Denver at this point. So that's how I'm thinking of the younger teams are looking like the better teams right now. The teams with the younger
Yeah,
stars are looking like the better teams.
yeah, because a lot of these younger teams, they've been built up. You know what I mean?
Right. Draft
You
picks
know
and
what I
things of
mean?
that nature.
They've been, yeah, they core guys have been drafted. Now Houston, they went and got Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks, but like you look at the other guys, they've been drafted to this organization. You look at
Mm-hmm.
OKC, you know what I mean? So even Memphis, I know Memphis not in the conversation, but even their team was built through the draft. You know what I mean? So like, but all the old heads, they came from that era where it just hop like the Clippers, bunch of guys from different organizations, right? Bunch of guys from different organizations. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on that, but yeah, for the Nuggets to stay relevant, I'm with you. Stay relevant, they gotta make changes to their roster. You have to.
Yep.
But Yoga's the best player though.
Yep. I agree.
But hey, there's a game on right
If
now.
FG,
Go ahead.
my bad for interrupting. If SGA win the championship, we got to revisit that conversation. In my opinion, as far as
Oh no.
Jokic being the best player in the world,
Best player. Woof.
yes,
I'm
it's
with
a
you.
conversation I'd be willing to revisit.
I'm with you.
Eh,
I'm,
we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
I'm with you because OKC did not win a game when SGA had his worst game. The Nuggets did. The
Yeah.
Nuggets won when Jokic was not good. You know, and SGA
Hey,
he was a spark.
hey, I'm not trying to shade Jokic, but knock off OKC and win the championship. I think he in the mix too.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a two-way player,
Oh,
two-way guard
yeah.
with the Timber, and he in that convo too. Like you don't just stay at the top just to stay at the top for me. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but like I said,
Especially if you outplay
we can come back
Shea.
to it.
You know,
Hey,
well we
I'm
gonna
saying
go.
who's MVP?
Well, we don't have to go back to it. We can go to it now because the Western Conference
Okay.
Finals is starting right now. OKC against Minnesota. AJ said it after the first quarter. I don't know the score right now, but after the first quarter, Minnesota was up. What you got a score with me right now? What's the score?
It's 40-36. 40
Who
to
up?
36. Minnesota.
Ooh,
3 minutes
Minnesota.
19 seconds left in the second quarter.
Okay, low scoring game. Low scoring
Yep.
game. 40-36. Defensive battle. We got two young guys. You got Anthony Edwards against Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. You got guys who want to crown Anthony Edwards as a face of the league. They just want to do it. But then you got
Mm.
Shea. When you look at his play, he's on to be an MVP. Won 68 games. So you would think like he should be the face of the league. But Anthony Edwards, very loud, and he's a high playoff performer also. So in the playoffs, they kind of neck and neck. So AJ, I know you a Timberwolves guy on the low. All right. I mean, on a high kind of when it comes to your boy AE. You an Anthony Edwards guy. You've been supporting him since he been in the league. So AJ, give me your prediction. Who's winning the Western Conference Finals? Who's going to punch their ticket to the NBA Finals in the first time in team history to potentially win a Finals? Is it the Timberwolves or the Oklahoma City Thunder? Hold on, why AJ talk, y'all? I got y'all right here. Go ahead.
Man, honestly, I was thinking about this today, And I don't want to make an emotional decision. I don't want to make an emotional pick. The emotional pick is Minnesota. Because I'm rooting for Minnesota. I want Minnesota to advance to the finals. I want Minnesota to win the finals.
Okay.
I'm picking OKC, man.
Oh my gosh!
I'm picking OKC games, bro. In 6 games, bro. And it's no shade to the Timberwolves. It's no shade to the Timberwolves. But when I look at OKC, we kind of talked about this last episode, Joe. That Nuggets series told me a lot. It told me that they ready to at least get to the finals. We get to finals predictions when they get here if they make it. But it showed me that they ready to take that step. I can't use the experience against OKC no more. So if you take the experience out and say, they got enough experience to now go to the finals to potentially win, they the best team remaining, bro, overall. They're the best team remaining. They got a few things going in their favor. Number one, home court advantage for them is a big thing. These boys, they played now. Again, it's a close game right now, but this is a prediction that I want to have, and I want to be concrete before the series starts. So I ain't watching the game. We just talking about what my thoughts are before the series start. They play so well at home, bro. And they have a ceiling that says, at any point, we might beat y'all by 40. At any point, we might go off and beat y'all by 40 to 45 points. Like, that's just how they play. Their defense is sticky, right? They get every deflection, every turnover. They convert fast break opportunities. When it's a turnover, it's not a 1-on-1. It's always a 3-on-1. It's always a 2-on-1. They're young and they running. So they got that going in their favor. Their defense, is gonna find a way to get the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands a lot. So it's gonna fall on the others. I do like Julius Randle in this series. Because even though that OKC's bigs are there, they're frail. They don't have a ton of muscle mass, right? And so I still think he's gonna kind of have his way, kind of dip his shoulder and put it in them guys' sternum and be able to get to the basket and get layups. But in the first series, they played a Lakers team with no big. In the second series, they went up against a Golden State Warriors team with Draymond in the paint, who's a great player, but a smaller guy, smaller defender. And you're going to get most rebounds over Draymond if you're hustling, if you're a Rudy Gobert, if you're a Naz Reid, or you're a Julius Randle. Of course, they throw Looney in there here and there, but Looney really ain't play all year like that. You want to throw Looney in there in the playoff series, Looney ain't going to he's not going to give you what you need for an entire playoff series. They tried it, and it didn't work. But in this series, you got Hartenstein, right? You got Chet down there getting rebounds. So I don't think the rebound discrepancy is going to be a big thing. They're going to need Julius Randle, not only as a scorer, but as a ball handler as well. Like, he's going to have to put the ball on the ground a little bit here. And they're going to need guys to make shots. It can't just be Ant, because they're going to get the ball out of his hands as much as possible. And I still think he's going to be effective, but they're going to get the ball out of his hands as much as possible. They're going to need Julius, but they also going to need guys like Naz Reid step up. They're going to need Jaden McDaniels step up. Mike Conley got to hit open shots. Dante DiVincenzo, where are you at? They really gonna need Dante in this series to help space the floor. And we've seen Dante have big time playoff games. But when you go back and you watch the OKC series versus Denver, the games that they won, Joe, think about it. You had big games from Jamal Murray and Jokic, right? But in those games, you still needed Aaron Gordon's game winner in game 1. And him dominating the boards. You still needed MPJ in game 3, his 21 and 8 in game 3. You needed Julian Strother to come in and give you 15 off the bench in game 6. And this is with Murray and Jokic having great games. You still needed 1 or 2 extra guys that's gonna come in and ball to match what OKC was bringing to the table. So you're gonna need that if you Minnesota. And last but not least, Anthony Edwards. Bruh, 5 of 19, 9 of 22, 8 of 22, not gonna cut it in this series. It's just not. 22 points a game on 36, 32 splits, shooting splits is not gonna cut it in this series, bro. He gonna have to be lights out in order to win this series. And so when I think about everything that they bring to the table, I do like the Wolves defensively. I do like them defensively, but I think nothing is stopping SGA from getting in the paint and playmaking for others. And these guys are snipers from the outside. I think Chet is a dog as well. And so I think offensively they will be fine. I think it comes down to the Wolves at the end of the day being stout defensively, playing these boys 94 feet, being as physical as possible. But when I look at it, I think OKC is the better overall team. And what I just said is a lot. You need a lot from Ant. You need a lot from Julius Randle. And then you turn around, you need a lot from a Nas Reed or a Jaden or a Mike Conley or Dante DiVincenzo to get you through. And that's to give you a shot in most cases, not even a win sometimes against OKC. That's to give you a shot. And OKC got the home court advantage. I hate to say it, bro. I'm not counting them out. I wouldn't be shocked if they won. And then I didn't even mention the fact that they go on these offensive dry spells that you just can't have in this series, where their offense is just clunky and disorganized. I hate to say it. And I hate to agree with you on this. I know where you're going with it, but I got to go with OKC, and I'm going with OKC in 6.
Woo, AJ, you surprised me, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's how you know OKC is good, man.
Okay.
He didn't even say 7. He said 6.
6, bro. I think it's a 6 game.
Listen, man.
But they doing their thing right now though, so I could be wrong.
Julius Randle got 18 points.
He hoopy 20 now. He hoopy.
Oh yeah, my guy, Julius Randle. But it's OKC in 5. I'm going 5. Yeah. That's what we disagree. OKC in 5. OKC Thunder. This is the crazy thing about OKC. They are the 3rd worst out of all the teams in the NBA, as far as playoffs. All 16 teams, they are shooting the 3rd worst from 3. 3rd worst, and yet they are in the Western Conference Finals. And it's because of what you said, AJ. Their defense. They are so disruptive. Right now in the playoffs, the Timberwolves and OKC, they're the best 2 teams out of all 16 teams that played in defensive rating. Only difference is the Minnesota Timberwolves are second at 106. OKC is number 1 at 101. It's a gap. They are just relentless defensively. Out of all the remaining teams, they are first in opponents, and they are first in steals, in blocks, in opponents' points or turnovers, in opponents' second chance points. They are first in everybody in field goal percentage allowed. They are just relentless defensively. They are the only team that made Jokic not look like the best player in the NBA. The only team I've seen done that since Jokic won his first MVP in the playoffs on a consistent basis. So Jokic had 2 games this whole series when he was good. And he had 1 game when he fouled out in the 3rd quarter. That's how crazy it is with OKC. And like you said, you go watch the game, AJ, and it could be, 41 to 40, kind of like Denver and OKC. And you can tell your wife and be like, can you pause the game? Oh, you know what? Don't pause. It's cool. I'm going to go run to the bathroom quick. Go to the bathroom, and you come back, and OKC went on a 14-0 run.
Quick.
Like that. And you're like, what happened? Caruso get a steal. Jalen Will get a steal. SGA get a steal. Casey Wallace get a steal. I mean, it's just ridiculous how relentless, like you said, they get every deflection. They constantly poking at the ball. I mean, I'm talking about everybody. Jokic getting these turnovers that he's getting, and you can't look at it and say, what are you doing, Jokic? It's really just they hunting the basketball. Caruso, I gotta find a clip when I say this. On R2L, we did a segment when we asked who won the offseason, right? As far as like free agency, all that stuff. And I said, I know this team didn't make a big splash, but I think it's OKC because they got rid of Josh Giddey, who is pretty good in Chicago, but he's not a good fit with them because he can't shoot. He's not going to handle the ball. It's SGA's job. And he just wasn't, he can't stand in the corner. He can't shoot. So they got rid of him and brought in Caruso. Everything everybody kept saying, no experience. What do they bring in? They bring in Caruso, a guy who has experience and who does all the extra stuff that you don't have to worry about, the defense of all that stuff that you love. A guy who don't have all the talent. He is very talented for real. Y'all saw him when he first came in the league. I mean, man, is talented. All right, and he actually came to the league with OKC, by the way. And they add Hartenstein, another guy with experience. So, listen, man. I said this in the last episode. We talked about the Warriors, and you might disagree with me with this. I felt like people were overhyped Minnesota, what they did in LA. They beat LA in 5, and then people might say, oh, they're gonna win the championship, or Minnesota's really good. I think they're a good team, but I think they're overhyped, just like last year when they beat Denver, and everybody felt like they were gonna wipe Luka with the floor, and Luka wiped them with the floor. So I think it's the same situation. When I watch OKC Thunder versus the Nuggets, you said it too. They are better than the Nuggets.
Yeah.
But it was a hump they had to get over. When I watched Minnesota against the Lakers, I can't fully say they're better. There were just dumb decisions the Lakers made, and like stuff happened in that series because Minnesota they didn't play well. Like offensively, they were trash. Outside of game one, they were not good. It was a fourth quarter that won them that series, and then the Warriors. I mean, Steph get hurt. It happens, right? But OKC went through a real test. Minnesota didn't. So I and then lastly, Anthony Edwards. I mean, you cool, but you ain't SGA. I'm sorry, AJ. He ain't SGA. He not. I'm sorry. He just not. SGA is, first of all, Anthony Edwards is younger. Let's not forget that. Anthony Edwards is 23. SGA is what, 26, 27? SGA, I said it multiple times. He's been around the block plenty of times. He's been around the block. He's been here. The game is more slow for him. Anthony Edwards, he came out at a press conference and said things like, I don't know what SGA ain't gonna have that issue. Everything's in slow motion for him. Anthony Edwards, a year or two from now, he would get there, but he's not SGA yet. He's still young. He's still 23. He got the talent. He got the moxie. He got the confidence. But SGA just, I mean, say God. I mean, I don't know. He just different. He's different.
I'm picking OKC.
Don't
get it twisted. Don't get it twisted though, bruh. Ant is that dude though, bruh. And Ant might be young, but Ant been to the conference finals before. Ant been on this stage. He know what this stage is like. And he been one step away from the finals before he got an opportunity to get there this time, right? And unlike last year there was similar. Now OKC has this issue. They coming off of a grueling 7-game series, right? Coming into this game. That's in part the reason why I think they might have started slow in this game. On the other side, Ant, you ain't going up against Kyrie Irving no more, right? Now you're going up against SGA and OKC, and now you've had some days to rest because you entered this series early coming into this Western Conference Finals. Any type of ail and injury, anything you had is out of the way. I think Anthony Edwards has the attitude and the moxie to have a series. Yeah, I think he gonna have a series now, because I think Anthony Edwards has been decent this postseason, but he hasn't been like, oh my gosh, Anthony Edwards is going crazy every game. He hasn't been that, but like we know he has that in him though. Like we know that's there. Now it's gonna be tough against this OKC team because we keep talking about this defense, but I still think Anthony Edwards is Anthony Edwards. But I'm picking OKC because they just got a complete team, bro. Like they whole team. Like I'm not watching the game. I look down at my phone, Joe. It's like 48-37. I'm like, dang, Wolves doing their thing. You start talking, I look over at my notes, you keep talking, I look down again, 48-44. Dang, the boys did caught up quick. Like you said. Like their team, bro. You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. You turn the ball over once, best believe it's 2-3 more following that up. And one thing I like about them that I noticed in that Denver series, they was kind of up and down with this, but for the most part, they were really good about it. They closed quarters out extremely well, and that's huge in the postseason. Yeah, because you could dominate a quarter all day long, but when it comes down to that last 1 to 2 minutes of the fourth quarter or of that quarter, and they come back and they make these runs, that's how you win games, because teams get the confidence. Okay, we've been dominating this quarter. We call a timeout. All right, let's end the quarter strong, get to the next quarter. Then they go on a run, and you're like, dang, bro, we was just up 10. Now we only up 3. SGA or somebody come out, Chet come out, Lou Dort come out, one of these guys, Wiggins come out, hit a 3 to start the next quarter. It's a tie game. Now OKC crowd into it. Now it's like, dang, bro, we ain't got no more cushion. So OKC as a team is, like I said, that's why overall when I looked at this series and how they matched up, man, I think the key for the Wolves is, again, the others. I think this series is going to be about the others. Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle are going to have to play their best basketball. But I think it's going to have to be about the others. And they got to ratchet up that. Like, they have to match the defensive intensity of OKC in this series. It's doable because they got the guys to do it. But over the long haul of a 7-game series against this team after beating Denver, it's a tall task. And we haven't seen this yet before we move on to the next series. We haven't. Oh, SGA shooting 2 of 13 right now. Shit, my bad. We try to put it up at the same time. All right, there you go. He's shooting 2 of 13. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen it yet, right? But I'd be curious to know, Carl, since you watching, who's his primary defender right now? Is it Jaden McDaniels or is it Anthony Edwards? I'm curious to hear that right now. I'm assuming it's Jaden McDaniels. I think over the long haul of this series, how many free throws he shooting? You see it?
Shot 9 free throws. 7 to 9.
Okay. Yeah, he gonna get to the line. But the one thing that Carl saying is both of those guys for real. Interesting. I said this in the Lakers series and I said it in the Warriors series, even though I picked Minnesota to win the Warriors series but lose the Lakers series. They were not good come crunch time in the regular season. They were one of the worst teams in the league come crunch time. It's been a running theme for them over numerous regular seasons, right? Mm-hmm. Over the last 2 or 3 regular seasons, right? And they also struggled at the crib this year. And so at some point, bruh, you want to believe a team has that switch, but do they have that switch for an entire playoff run to where all of the habits that you built in the regular season, they just never come back to haunt you? You just close in every game because they closed multiple games against the Lakers. They closed multiple games against the Warriors. That's just not going to come back to haunt them. They didn't lose a home game against the Warriors, right? If I'm not mistaken, they didn't lose a home game against the Lakers either. That's just not going to come back to haunt them at all in this playoff run. Like, at some point, bruh, I feel like that's going to come back to haunt them at the worst time, in the worst game, in the worst moment. Whereas OKC was great at home. OKC knew how to close games. And then they just got over this hump of Denver. My heart is telling me, let's go and let's get to that championship. But my mind is like, bro, OKC gonna win this series. That's where I'm at with it.
Well, they did lose a home game against Steph. Then he got hurt.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. My bad. Game 1. I had to rethink that. Like, did they lose it? They didn't lose one against LA though, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they did. They won at 5.
Right. So you had to bring that back up.
I do want to say one more thing before we move forward though. I want to give SGA and Anthony Edwards props of their leadership. Like both of them. Like empower their players. Like you see Anthony Edwards constantly saying Jaden McDaniels is my favorite player and obviously my second favorite player. He constantly give everybody the praise. And you see SGA and OKC at every interview, it's the whole team collectively getting interviewed. Well, not getting interviewed, but they all there. The commercials, like Shea not really in this. I don't remember his commercial for real when he's by himself. It's always him and his teammate. Like he's constantly involving his teammates, let them know like, yeah, I know I'm getting attention, but it's about us. And that's leadership, man. That's good leadership. And, he's like I said, he's been around the block.
That's fair. Hey, man, moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. I tried to think of a good little, segue, but I couldn't. We just gonna move on, man. We're gonna move on, man. We talking playoff basketball. We moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals, and we got a red hot Pacers team against a New York Knicks team who just knocked off the defending champion, Boston Celtics. So, Joe, I got to ask you, I'm very curious about your take on this series, man. I think this series, in all honesty, to me, is just as exciting as the Western Conference series, man. I think this is going to be a fun series. Who do you have and how many games and why? Who comes out of the East and represents the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals this year?
Jalen Brunson, Troy Hunson.
Get done, son.
Pacers in 5. No, sorry, Pacers in 6. I messed up. Pacers in 6.
I got you. I got you.
5. That's OKC, Pacers in 6. I'm going with the Pacers, man. Like I said this on R2L, but like the Pacers. Have you ever played a game called Mafia before?
I've heard of it, haven't played it.
So this is a quick. The Pacers are playing Mafia. So how you play Mafia is you get a group of people in the room, and then there's one narrator, right? And the narrator picks a killer. But everybody got to put their head down, close their eyes, whatever you want to do. And the narrator picks a killer like, AJ, you the killer. Who you want to kill, AJ? I want to kill Joe. No, it's not real kill. I don't want to spell it as this, but
Right.
I want Joe. And then everybody lift their head up, and then the narrator tells a story on how Joe is there now, and then the whole room has to guess who the killer is. And they can't, and the Indiana Pacers are playing Mafia, and they're not getting picked. They are literally good, and nobody realizes how good they are, and they are hiding in plain sight. Like they are hiding right in they're right in the middle of the crowd, and nobody can recognize them. Nobody sees this suspicious person right here. So I feel like they're not getting the respect they deserve. Like people are assuming New York is gonna win the series, and everybody keeps saying, "Oh, OG was hurt last year." Yo, the way the Knicks play, they go 6-7 deep. The way the Pacers play, they go 10 deep. The way the Pacers play also, once the ball, when you shoot the ball in New York and the ball comes off the rim, they're taking that ball and they're running. If the ball goes through the net, guess what? They are taking the ball and they're running. On the other end, if the Pacers score, guess what happened? They are going to guard you full court man because they're constantly in rotation, 10 guys deep, sometimes 11, because they stay fresh. Then they got, I believe, the best pure point guard in the NBA, which is Tyrese Halliburton. Because you look at his turnover ratio, best in the NBA. Turnover assist ratio, best in the NBA. He has plenty of games when he has double-digit assists with 0 turnover. That's unheard of on a consistent basis. So, and New York, I get they got. If you look at the talent-wise, all that stuff, but Indiana, they're coached differently, man. So I'm going with Indiana in 6. I think Indiana's going to. And last thing I want to say about Indiana, they are not scared of New York at all. They already beat New York, and they got the chip. And with them beating New York already, they're the ones with the chip on their shoulder because people think it was a fraudulent win. So, and then people already didn't believe in them in the cast, including me, against the Bucks, including me. And now they're going to say, man, I know they smiling from ear to ear. They're like, we got to play. Hold on, you telling me we ain't got to play Boston? We got to play New York? Oh, we going to the finals. Shout out to Harbaugh. We going to the ship. We going to the ship. What? That's Indiana right now. So I'm going with them in 6.
Give me the Knicks in 7.
Ooh.
Give me the Knicks in 7 games, Joe. Give me the Knicks in 7 games. You spoke on it, but you didn't really speak on it like that. Ooh. Last year, these teams matched up. It went 7 games, and the Knicks was banged up as can be. Josh Hart hurt. OG Anunoby, hamstring issue, hurt. Mitchell Robinson played 1 game, hurt. Brunson broke his hand in game 7, hurt, right? So let's start there. Like, that series was a grueling series. Again, these two teams are different now, but a lot of the core pieces are the same pieces from last year, and the Knicks still pushed them to 7 games. So let's start there. I also think, given the fact that I would say the Cavs were the best defensive team that would play in the playoffs, right? Given the injuries that the Cavs had, I'm not sure if I can say that at this point. The Knicks got the 5th best defensive rating out of every team in the postseason. So I know some of that is skewed though because Boston got a lot of open looks in that last series that they didn't knock down that I think the Pacers will probably hit. So I'll give you that. But I do think between OG, between Bridges, even Karl-Anthony Towns, right? Josh Hart getting in the mix. They have shown their ability to get after you defensively. So I do think it'll be one of the tougher teams they play, if not the hardest team they've played healthy now in the postseason on the defensive side of the ball. Another thing I want to throw at you. Some people going to hear me on this. Some people going to say, get out of here. Karl-Anthony Towns is going to have a series. I think Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be the X factor. He gonna have a series. It may get to the point or Karl Anthony Towns is pushing for Eastern Conference Finals MVP. I think that's the type of series he's going to have. Karl Anthony Towns, like I said about Anthony Edwards, he's been here. He's been here. And I'm calling him out. Last year, he froze up. He froze up. By the time he showed up against the Mavs, they was down 3-0. And then he showed up in game 4, had a big-time game, helped Anthony Edwards, got them a win, and was decent in game 6. Game 6 as well. But they didn't have enough to get it done. I think Karl Anthony Towns is due for a big series. I do like the defenders that they have for Cat, though. I'm not going to just ignore that. Miles Turner, Siakam, they got some guys for him, even some of the smaller guys, you know what I'm saying, that you could throw at him. I think that's going to be a thing as well, right? But I think Karl Anthony Towns, I think he's due for this moment, bro. Being from New York, right, having the history that he had with the Minnesota Timberwolves, getting traded to this location, having a playoff resume that he has, being kind of up and down, but now has the opportunity to get to the finals. I think he's going to shock some people. Like Carl in the comments saying, get out of here. I think Cat going to shock some people. And I'm just calling it. It's just, this isn't I got numbers, but this isn't a statistical thing. This isn't an analytical thing. Just my gut telling me Cat going to have a series. So I'm going to put it out there. I think he's going to have a series. And the last thing I want to throw at you. Is this. Crunch time. The Pacers are 5-0 in crunch time. 5-0 in crunch time. But the thing that bothered me about the Pacers' crunch time minutes and the crunch time moments that they had is 2 of the games that they won was fluky as I don't know what in this postseason. I get it. It's the playoffs. You win games how you win games. And one could say, hey, the Knicks, they was down 20 multiple times against Boston. They came back and got the win. I'm going to beat you to that rebuttal before you get there, Joe. Because we know what happened. And I know that's probably where you was going to go. I know 20-point leads aren't blown that often in the playoffs. But what I'm going to say is this. Milwaukee Bucks, 118 to 111 with 40 seconds left. And they blow the game with 3 straight turnovers, including one where Trent Jr., lets the ball literally go between, like literally catches the ball, lets it go out of bounds. But he was having a hell of a game, by the way, and just froze up at the end, turned the ball over 3 straight times. And the Pacers, being the Pacers, capitalized on the moment. That's crazy. Then you got the Cavs, game 2, 119 to 112 with 48 seconds left. They blow the game. Missed rebounds, missed shots, turnovers. Granted, you give the Pacers credit, but anytime a team has a 98% chance of winning the game, a 99% chance of winning the game analytically, the game's supposed to be won with 40 seconds left, 50 seconds left. You up 8 to 10 points, bro. That's 7 points, bro. That's just insane. They closed the Bucks out on that. And then me and you both knew, we was here, we did the show live. When they came back and beat the Pacers, or when they came back and beat the Cavs in game 2, I said the series is over. It's over with. There's no way the Cavs come back from that. That was the deciding game, in my opinion, in that series. That I knew the Cavs was not going to go on the road and win both games at Indiana, because to Indiana's credit, it is a hard place to play. I don't believe that happens on the New York Knicks watch. Jalen Brunson, clutch player of the year. Dog currently holds the record for the most fourth quarter points through the first 10 games of a single NBA postseason. 102 points in this year's playoffs. Ridiculous. Went up against a tough Pacers team. Went up against the defending champs. Whop, I'm going to close you out. Whop, you going to let me back in the game? You sure? Whop, I'm going to close you out. I believe in the New York Knicks. I think they will get to the NBA Finals this year. I got it at 7. I think it's going to be a tough series. No disrespect to the Pacers. I picked against them every time. I'm doing it again because the Knicks coming off of a series where they just took out the defending champions, the team we both had at some point winning the championship. Knocking them out, I think gives them the confidence that they need, and I think they go on, knock off the Pacers, and get to the NBA Finals.
I'm trying to. Okay, so here's the difference between the Celtics and the Pacers. The Celtics, which normally know who they are, they were by far the number 1 team in the NBA in the second round with isolation basketball, isolation plays. They were uncharacteristic. And on top of being uncharacteristic, they missed. I don't even know the percentage. It's crazy. So many wide open threes. That do I see the Indiana Pacers doing that? Me and you both felt like the Celtics not gonna win. I mean, the Knicks not gonna win. Celtics lost that series. Obviously the Knicks had to do a lot to win the series, but the Celtics more so lost that series. I know Tatum got hurt, had nothing to do with it, but like you said, they had 2 20-point leads in both games and crumbled in the clutch. When you just told me, I don't care how it went, Indiana's 5-0 in the clutch. I believe if Indiana get a 20-point lead, it's curtains how they play. And Indiana is efficient offense, and they up their defense in the playoffs. Now, New York Knicks is a great challenge for them. I mean, the New York Knicks, you look at the roster, the players, and all that stuff. They got Cat, they got McHale, they got Jalen Brunson. They got guys, you might say, oh, snap, the Knicks are better. But when you look at the complete team and you look at the coaches, Tibbs against Rick Carlisle, give me Rick Carlisle all day, any day. And then guys, look, I'm not wishing this upon nobody, but people say, like you said, OG was hurt. Are you surprised? I mean, the man running guys to the dirt. I'm sorry. If somebody, I'm not trying to put that on Front Street, but if somebody would have get hurt in the series, you can't be surprised because how the Pacers play, they run. They like you said about OKC, they constantly running. The Pacers gonna put pressure on you offensively and defensively, and you want to play 6 guys the whole game, unless Mitchell Robinson get into hack and shack type of situation, and you might throw I forget his name, Precious. I forgot his name. You might throw him in the game. But outside of that, you got 6 guys in rotation, 7 guys in rotation for real. So, yes, Mitchell Robinson didn't play. Yes, OG missed some games. I get it. I know this guy's not as, you might not be as good as OG, but he's a very important player for them. Ben Mathurin. He didn't play the whole playoffs last year. He was out the whole playoffs. And that's a key piece for them off the bench. So, Tyrese Halliburton is up in his game. Siakam, that was his first year with the Pacers. Like, he came midway through the season, so they're OG. But he came midway through the season. Now he got the whole season acclimated with the team. The Pacers look much better this year than last year. Like, last year, you look at like when they beat the Cavs, there's no way I'm looking at it as a fluke. They beat the Cavs. Darius Garland came back. He looked pretty healthy. When Evan Mobley came back, he looked pretty healthy. And they still lost. And they lost game 1 when Mobley was there. So, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I'm going with the Pacers in 6, man. I bumped my head too many times for them.
I might have to bump my head again. I might have to have a concussion. Like I might have to. Depending on who come out the West, if they win, I'm probably not gonna pick them for the finals either. Just spoiler alert. I'm gonna have to have a concussion.
Hey, like I said last show, Halliburton, Shower Curtain, OKC, and probably 4. I'm gonna say 5.
I'm about to say that'd be crazy.
They ain't winning this championship.
But this is what I'll say though before we move on to the next topic, Joe. Right? Yes, Boston went out there. They missed a lot of shots in that series against the New York Knicks. We get that to them. I mentioned the Pacers crunch time. Right? Mm-hmm. They 5-0. I mentioned Brunson numbers in crunch time with 102 points. Up there with Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. He up there with some crazy names, some GOAT-like names in that conversation. What I didn't mention is the Pacers are the Knicks are also 6-2 in games decided by crunch time this postseason. Mm-hmm. So they right there too. Like they are closing games as well. When you go up against a team like the Boston Celtics, the defending champions, yes, they missed a lot of shots, bro, but in this series, you can say the Pacers, man, they go up 20. I don't think they're going to lose. You ain't going to turn that TV off. Because you didn't see them come back on the defending champions 2-3 times in one series. 2-3 times on Boston. Granted, they missed a lot of shots, but that was remarkable. They had to go take that game. And to me, it's different. To me, yes, the Celtics melted down, but they had whole halves to do so, right? Like it was a whole half of a meltdown where the Knicks down 20, 25 points had to scratch and claw back. Even in the fourth quarter to start, you still down 10, 13. You got to claw and scratch your way back. To me, it's different. I don't want to discredit them, but it's different than them 2 games I pointed out with the Pacers where you down 8, 9 points with 40 seconds up and the team just, here you go. It just felt like the Bucks was like, here you go in the last couple minutes of the closeout game. Here you go to the Cavs in the last couple minutes of the game 2. It's like, the Pacers took it in the last couple seconds, but like, what are y'all? A 99% chance to win and you lose the game?
Yeah, that was crazy.
What? Like, and it happened. It happened for them twice. I said this before about the Pacers, and I will say it again. You can beat the Pacers, but you got to be healthy because they got a lot of guys. They got a lot of guys that can score. They could put the ball in the hole. Credit to him. But they leave that door open. They leave that door open quite a bit. Them 2 games right there, that game 1 or game 3, they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks, and then Dame tears his Achilles in game 4, and I thought he was going to have a good game that day. Because that was it. I thought that was going to be a Dame type of moment. I could be wrong. But if there was ever a time for him to have a moment in that series, it was that moment. We got robbed of that because he's tearing his Achilles. Maybe it's because he's getting up and down the court so much because of how the Pacers play. But at the end of the day, they leave that door open, and it's up to the right team to capitalize on those doors being open. And we've seen now with the Knicks, you leave that door open in the fourth quarter, it might be curtains for you messing with Jalen Brunson. It's 10-point lead, you might be in trouble messing with Brunson. He get hot, it might be a wrap. And so that's why I'm looking at it like, I respect the Pacers and what they have going on. I know it don't sound like that because I keep picking against them, but looking at this series and how I foresee it playing out, if Cat has the type of series I think he's going to have, that's going to be big though. If Cat don't show up, they don't have a shot against this Pacers team. But if he shows up and has the type of series that I think he's going to have, then Brunson and OG, Bridges, they're going to be right there with him. It's like I said, it's some teams. If OKC go up 20 on the Timberwolves, I might turn the game off right at this point. I can't say the same thing in this series for these Knicks, man. They displayed a lot of heart, bro. So
yeah,
that's why I'm at with it, man. I love it. Like I said, I think it's 7 games though. I think it's a tight series. I think both teams have their moments, but Game 7 in New York, and I don't see a healthy Brunson losing Game 7 in New York with a chance to get to the finals, bro. I think this is his time, bro. I think this is Brunson's time. Now, I said the same thing about them Nuggets. and thank God I didn't lose the house. Okay? Thank God I didn't lose the crib. Okay? Thank God, I can record this from the bedroom right now. I ain't lose the crib. But, hey, just want to say, I'm rolling with Brunson in the 7-game series.
Let's get it, man. I feel you. Well, I want to know how you rolling with this schedule because the Eagles, they just released the schedule. They played all teams made the playoffs. 10 plus teams that made the playoffs. Y'all gotta play them this season. And they also said the NFC East got the toughest schedule in any division history. That's crazy. I was like, dang. So we got the schedule right here. We're gonna put it up for the people. You got your boy cheesing like he won a Super Bowl.
And won MVP. Like, you ain't no Super Bowl MVP. Say what?
Super Bowl MVP. So AJ, what are your thoughts on the schedule, man?
My thoughts on the schedule for the defending champs?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, Joe. Hold on. Oh man. My bad. I gotta get comfortable. My bad. I have to, you know what I mean? No need for the flag and all that yet, but gotta throw on the defending champion hat real quick just in case y'all forgot who the champs is. You know what I mean? Hey Joe, I see a 12-13 win season, man. I can see a world coming off of a Super Bowl where we're the hunted, where we win 11 games too and lose 6, because this is a very tough schedule. But like I tell people, I said the same thing in 2023. Now we did end the season kind of rough. But I said it then, and I'll say it again now. The same way that the Eagles and maybe Eagles fans or haters are looking at this schedule like, dang, you gotta play the Chiefs, you gotta play the Rams. They got Tay Adams now. You gotta play Dallas twice, obviously in the division. They got pickings. Washington on the come up. Don't forget about the Chargers and the Packers and all these other teams. Them other teams and them fan bases looking like, yo, we got the Eagles week 2. Gotta buckle up. We got the Eagles week 12. Oh, man. We got the defending champs week 15. Circle the date. Against the Commanders. You know what I mean? And so I'm looking at this schedule, man. First off, I do feel like the league trying to get us this year. I do want to get that off my chest today. I think the league trying to get us. It's trying to get the tush push up out of here first. Let's get the tush push up out of here. Then we going to stack that schedule in a way where they don't have no back-to-back home games, right? We're going to give them the 4th, quote-unquote, hardest schedule in the NFL. And we're going to start them off with a division rival, the Dallas Cowboys, right off the bat. Give them the Chiefs, who they just played in the Super Bowl, and the Rams, who everybody think was so close to beating us in the second round of the playoffs. Like, we ain't owned the Rams over the last 2-3 years with Jalen Hurts as quarterback. It makes no sense to me, bro. Rain, sleet, snow, Eagles training to go. Y'all heard my boy, all right? So I see about 13 wins, man. I could see our losses. I'm not going to lie. I could see us dropping that game week 5. I can see it happening with that defense, with a young quarterback that we have not played yet. We don't have that experience with them guys. I could just see that being a weird game. You know what I mean? So I can see us dropping that game. I wouldn't be shocked if we split with the Commanders just off the strength of these games are at the very end of the year. It might not. One of them games may not even matter. So I can see it from that standpoint as well. It's tough, Joe. I want to say we're going to win them all. I ain't going to lie to you, bro. I'm looking at these teams. I feel like we're going to smoke in. Like, we the champs. So they got to come see us. But realistically speaking, man, like, you could just see some slip-up games. We coming off of games where we played Green Bay. You know we going to be up for that game. We play Detroit the following week. You know we going to be up for that game. Then we play Dallas. You know how that go. We up for that game. Then right after that, we got Chicago. Are we going to be up for Chicago? I can see us possibly losing to Chicago. Even though that game is at the crib, I can see us being like, all right, we got Herbert the following week. We got to get ready for that game as well. And I also think that Bills game, depending on where everything fall in the standings, I think that game going to be a tough game for us at the end of the year too. Don't forget in 2023, we won that game. Hurts had a day, but man, Josh Allen was a lot to deal with. He was a lot to deal with for our defense. And so, give me 13 wins. I think the floor is probably 11 for us this year, reasonably speaking. I think the ceiling is probably 14. I would say the ceiling, the absolute best we can do if we own our A game every single game. But if I had to put my money on it, I'd probably say 13 games. I'd probably say 13 games for us this year. And I'm going to say this. A lot of people think we're going to start slow. I don't think we're going to start slow. I think we're going to beat Dallas. I think the Dallas game is going to be tight, though, just because it's Dallas and it's week 1. Week 1 is always weird. So I can see that game being tight. I think we beat Kansas City. I know a lot of people are like, it's still the Chiefs. Last time I seen the Chiefs on the field with us, they got smoked. And what people don't talk about enough, people don't talk about enough, is we might be their biggest rivalry. We might be their biggest op. We 2-2 against those boys. Beat them in the Super Bowl, beat them in the regular season. They beat us in the Super Bowl and beat us in the regular season. We always push them to the limit when we play them. And if we're not pushing them to the limit, we blowing them out of the water. Just saying. So I think we get them out the way. It's been a lot of talk, like I said, about these Rams, bro. We're going to have to show y'all again. They can't do nothing with 2-6. All right? They can't do nothing with 2-6. And if you slow down 2-6, Hurts got y'all number 2. He be killing y'all. I do think we're going to have to deal with Tay Adams, right? But they probably still going to be trying to get their chemistry down. So I think we get them out of the way too. And the last thing before I pitch this to you, Joe, is this. Get Tampa Bay up out of here this year, man. The only time Tampa Bay beats us is when we don't have A.J. Brown. It's the only time they beat us. It's the only time we played them. Everybody's like, Tampa Bay got y'all number. They got y'all number. Baker Mayfield this. Baker Mayfield that. As I fill on my Super Bowl championship hat. Right? You know what I'm saying? Playoffs, we didn't have A.J. Brown. maybe our best offensive player. It's a debate there. Still, even with Saquon having the season that he had, even with Jalen Hurts being Super Bowl MVP, it's a debate there. When we played them in the regular season, we again didn't have A.J. Brown. We also didn't have Devontae Smith. We also didn't have Lane Johnson. They don't have our number. They just catch us at really good times. I'm just going to call it spade to spade. They catch us at really good times. I think Todd Bowles, I have to double check this. I don't know if this was a troll quote or not, but I seen somebody on Twitter say in quotations, Todd Bowles says we caught them at really good times. He know. You don't see if you don't see 1K on the field, it's gonna be an interesting day. All right, so I got us starting strong, but yeah, give me 13 wins, man. Give me 13 wins.
13. Okay. I mean, not much I can say. You said it all. You said it all. For real. I mean,
appreciate
you know, I know a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people think that the I'm with you with the Rams take. Y'all be beating the Rams. I do think y'all will lose in week 2 though. Cause
That's
like
fair.
y'all in the Chiefs, y'all be flip flopping. You know, like win, loss. That's been happening. And I'm with you with the Bucks. Last year, Devontae was out and AJ Brown was out. You know, so and then in the playoffs, Hurts was hurt. I guess you can say that, right? But AJ Brown was out.
I ain't gonna give Hurst that excuse. I'm not gonna give him that.
AJ
excuse.
was out though for sure.
AJ was out. AJ missing in that game was huge, bro. It's anytime we miss an AJ Brown, bro. It's a big deal. Like it's to the. I wouldn't wish this on any of my players, obviously, bro. But if somebody came to me and said you can only have 2 healthy offensive players that are for sure going to be healthy all season, like everybody else is a crapshoot. They could be healthy, they could be not. I'm gonna take Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna take AJ Brown. I'm gonna take that combination every time, bro. Over Saquon, over Devontae, over offensive line members. If AJ Brown is out there, Jalen Hurts is out there, I have a ton of confidence. But when one of them don't play, it get weird, bro. It get weird. It get real weird. So I just think we start strong I'm saying. So I just think, and I'll pitch it to you, and I'll leave it alone. I just think the first 5 games of this, or the first 4 games of the season, I think all of those games come with a little chip on your shoulder. Like Dallas, they doing a little talking. Everybody think they're gonna be this, that, and the third this year, and it's Dallas, and it's an important game, right? So there's that. I don't know if you heard CeeDee Lamb talk about Quintana Bay. What's that? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, you talking? Oh, okay. Because Michael Parsons, they call Quinyon Mitchell Quintana Bay. And CeeDee Lamb said, man, it's over. It's cut for that. I ain't never been on no island, is what he said. I ain't never been locked up, all this other stuff. Yeah, okay. All right. So I just feel like that game is going to come with an extra juice because it's Dallas. It's a division rival. Obviously, you playing the Chiefs, you always going to be up to play the Chiefs. Always. And you don't want them to get, their quote-unquote redemption on y'all. It's been a lot of talk about the Rams, right? And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get us every year. So you got to have we not losing to them again this year. Especially if we healthy. And that's why I feel like that week 5 loss is gonna be it's gonna be right on time. It's like we start strong. We got rid of all these dudes. Now we about to see the Broncos. And we dropped that game. That's what I think.
The game I'm looking forward to is week 11. Y'all in Detroit.
Oh yeah. Oh, I wish the game was so. They needed to move the Commanders game up, the Lions game up. And it ain't got to be in the first 6 weeks, but they need. I mean, to have those games the back half of the season like that, come on, NFL.
Yeah, y'all played on Sunday night too.
Yeah, like I like the primetime thing, but come on, NFL, bro. Like let's the Commanders games. It's no way the NFC Championship rematch should be in week 16, Joe.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
that's wild.
And then we played twice in 3 weeks. I think that's why.
I mean, come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah,
bro.
I never liked that. Like that time they do back-to-back division games. Like what the world? Like I think the Steelers and Bengals did it. They played twice in 3 weeks. That's like dumb.
Yeah, man. It's I don't know what they on with that, man. But we'll take it.
I feel like with division games, you want the teams to see each other in two different times of the year. Like you want to see this is how we look now. Okay, this is revisit when we like go through some runs and we're gonna meet back up. But 2 in the last 3 weeks, it's crazy.
And then don't let it be like we match up in the playoffs right away.
Y'all be crazy.
Like 3 straight times. It's like, all right, we got Commanders again. Y'all got the Eagles again. Like, golly.
Dang, it's a daggone 3-game series.
Right.
God, 2-3. Well, yeah. So.
But how you feeling about them Commanders, man? You feel the Commanders are gonna fare this year with a supposed to be a stronger team this year?
It was a dime. Look at that. We go to discussion, man. Dang, that was a dime.
Crazy.
That was my boy. But that's a few things like about. First thing that stuck out to me was again another late bye. Like,
Tough.
our bye week is out week 12, and it's like it's the second year in a row. Which is cool. I guess if you're a playoff team, I think the late bye is pretty okay. It gets you geared up for the playoff run. So and this right before the division games, as you can see. I'm gonna get to that in a second. But second thing that stood out to me, AJ, 5 primetime games. I'm excited.
Yes.
5. We came into the year with only one, which is every year. We had one primetime game, was against the Bengals. JD Fowl, you saw the highlights. He showed out. And then they said, you know what? We're going to flex these dudes against the Falcons. We want to watch them play. And they put us against the Falcons. And we played in one primetime, quote unquote, ain't primetime, but one kind of main event type game out of 4 o'clock game. They also flexed us with the Bears, which turned into the Hail Mary game. So now we got 5. And outside of the 5 primetime games, we have 8 standalone games. 8 games where we're the only team that's playing right now. We play in Spain and stuff like that. So, and we play on Saturday, we play on Christmas, all that good stuff, right? So I'm excited about that. That's the JD5 effect. So that's good. Also, it's a tough schedule. But guess what, AJ? I like the tough schedule.
Yeah.
I remember last year y'all had a tough schedule, right? And I was like, yo, Eagles schedule tough. Eagles schedule tough. But what the tough schedule does, it prepares you. It prepares you for the playoffs. Look what happened. You got to the playoffs. Y'all was lights out. Defense lights out. You know what I mean? Y'all were well prepared. Now, we did our thing too. But, I mean, that was a straight execution. Like, my man, JD. Yeah. I mean, and the defense, and Jared Goff. Shout out to Jared Goff for having 4 turnovers.
Right.
But having a tough schedule, you get battle tested, right? So I like the tough schedule. I like the fact that we play Green Bay, we play the Falcons again, we play the Chargers, we play the Bears. These are all teams who could potentially make the playoffs. The Cowboys, twice obviously out of the division, the Chiefs on Monday night. AJ, you probably saw the reel or the short, whatever you want to, the short video. That's the now versus the future. That's what that game is right there. The now versus the future. Monday night in Kansas. I love it. Carl like, if you good, you got to play in Kansas City. I want to go to Kansas City. I want to go there and disappoint their fans. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win the game. I'm not saying that right now because it's too early to call. A lot of things are going to happen between now and that game. You got injuries. You got more free agency pickups. A lot of stuff going to happen. So I'm not making no predictions on no game. I'm just telling you my thoughts of the schedule. We got some good teams we gotta play. And AJ, we play a lot of teams that get a chance if they get back. Mm-hmm. The Falcons, right? The Green Bay Packers, they're like, y'all the reason why we had to play the Eagles round 1. Y'all the reason why. We want y'all. The Bears, they can get a chance. And Ben Johnson, you can get your get back. You can do it. The Lions, they put us with the Lions. You can get your get back. That's cool. So I like that. The fact that we get to play these teams who been talking like Bijan Robinson. Speaking of Bijan Robinson, he came out and made a bet with one of his friends saying that he bet that they're going to beat us by 20 plus. Do you see that?
That was crazy, yes.
Now, Bijan Robinson, he played us twice. Now, AJ, last 2 years, do you think we had a good run defense?
No.
In the last 2 years, he had 127 rushing yards against us combined. Do you know how many rushing yards Jaden Daniels had on him last year?
No.
127.
Sheesh.
So, I mean, y'all might get joke about my running back. My running back outdoing you, B. John. You're a running back. Come on. Come on now. 20 plus. Make the playoffs. How about that? Get to the playoffs and then 20 plus. All right? You can been in the league for 2 years and ain't see the playoffs yet. But I still think you're a good player. But come on, man. I'm be running your mouth when the camera's running. Come on, man. But anyways, I like the schedule, and last but not least, end of the season. We got 4 divisions games. We got the Giants, we got the Eagles, we got the Cowboys, and we got the Eagles. So it's like At first, I'm like, wow, why would they put 4 division games? See, this is a schedule you want when you're. See, the good thing about the schedule is this: if if we're like neck and neck, right? We have control because we have more division games. More like we have an opportunity. These wins count more for us versus y'all wins against like whoever y'all played in the season. Because every win is it's like 2 wins. Like we play the Giants, that's a division win. Eagles, that's a division win, right? So that's the good part about it, but at the same time, it could backfire. You know what I mean? It could backfire. I like division games to be spread out. I don't like this 4 games in a row you play the that's crazy, bro.
That's
We got
crazy. That's
score.
crazy.
To end the season, 4 games? Like, that's crazy. So I like the schedule though overall because it's gonna make us battle tested and we're gonna be ready for the playoffs. So I gotta say. And we're looking
I
for
feel that, man.
looking for a home game in the playoffs too, by the way.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that, man. I think, and talk about this schedule, man. I was trying to let you do your thing, man, but I ain't gonna let you keep on getting away with this disrespect now. Keep on talking about, this in a game that features the Chiefs and the Commanders. This is the now versus the future. If I'm not mistaken, I see a Philadelphia Eagles logo on the championship hat this year, and this ain't representing the NFC. This representing the NFL. I see one now right now. That's what I see. I don't know what y'all saw. I mean, the team. I'm talking about the teams.
Okay.
I'm talking about the teams. You know what I'm saying? And my dog did now right now too, Super Bowl MVP.
Oh no,
and he's still young.
Just to clear it up. This is what I'm saying. Mahomes is the best player now. In the future,
Okay,
it's gonna be JD5. Okay. You're gonna be saying JD5 best player in the league very soon. Probably next year, but very soon. He's gonna be them combos.
JD5 got to deal with Super Bowl MVP, man. That's all I gotta say. He got to deal with the Super Bowl MVP, and if all else fails, he got to deal with 2-6 coming out the backfield. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? This wasn't supposed to spiral into this. We just supposed to be talking about our schedules, but I just couldn't help myself. You know what I mean? I couldn't help myself. But I do like. I think the Commanders are going to be solid again this season. I'm interested in seeing how they come back. You know what I'm saying? With a full season of tape on Jaden Daniels. I'm interested in seeing how they come back. I think their schedule. I don't think their schedule is terrible, to be honest, compared to what y'all did last year. I don't think y'all's schedule is terrible. I think these are a lot of winnable games. Obviously, you got the tough one against us, but the tough 2 against us. But again, we'll see how things shake down at that point in the season. You are valid with the whole. A lot of teams can have an opportunity to get their get back. Y'all did split with Dallas last year, so that's gonna be an interesting matchup now with Dak back.
Sweet.
I think Detroit obviously is a tough matchup, but I'm interested in seeing how Detroit looks with new offensive and defensive coordinator. Obviously, you got the Chiefs. So there's some teams on there. It's definitely a better schedule than it was last year. I'm also not sleeping on Minnesota. I think Minnesota is going to have another pretty good year this year as well. But I think given what we saw last year, them adding Deebo Samuels, them boosting up the offensive line, you know what I'm saying, getting that secondary a little bit better, I think they in for another good year. I'm hoping that those games at the end of the year are competitive. I'm hoping so. It'd be crazy if it's a situation like Minnesota and Detroit last year, where that last game of the season determined the division and the number 1 seed. And if you lose that game, you drop to 5. That's a lot. That determines your season right there, bruh. So that will be. Then we look back on the NFL like y'all did a great job. You know what I mean? But all in all, man, we'll see. I like how it's looking. I like the competition that the whole NFC East is facing. I do feel like the NFL did the Giants grimy though.
They did. They got the hardest schedule.
Like what the Giants do they did nothing to deserve the hardest schedule in the league, bro. Like that's just crazy. That's
you say I got the 4th hardest schedule. I think the NFC East got the hardest schedule collectively as a division, but the Giants had the hardest, and they're the worst team in the NFL. I mean, the NFC East.
Yeah.
But also, I gotta say this: in our schedule, we played the most teams that's coming off their bye week in the NFL. We played the most teams. So
that's tough.
Yeah, and so it's all good. It's all good. Let's get our last words in. AJ, one of the reasons why I was laughing, we talked about this in one of the topics. OKC's on a 20-5 run.
Bruh. See, I was looking down at the score. I'm like, bruh, like Timberwolves was right there. Now I look like OKC pulling away, going into the fourth quarter, closing the quarter strong. This is what I'm saying, bro. It looks like they're gonna have a 10-point lead to end, but it's gonna be tough, bruh. It's gonna be tough, man. But
Yes, sir. Yeah,
last you get your last first name, yeah.
yeah, I go. That's what. Shout out to our Tour network. Shout out to our family. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to my boy Lambo with the intro. He destroys that song, and my brother with the Refuse to Lose sports logo. He made that. Shout out to him. I want to give a shout out to my youngest brother. He's getting married June 8th, right? So I'm looking forward to going to that wedding. I'll be in Virginia for that, so I'm excited about that. The third,
Is he? Do I know him? Do I know him? He in the chat?
he is in the chat. He comes in every now and then. He's a Steelers fan. He comes in every now and then, but he's in the chat. Um, he lived near He lived in Delaware, like 40 minutes from Philly. You know, so
yeah, he
so
had a
he
chance
always,
to rock with the Super Bowl champs, man. Oh man,
I know he
oh
is
man.
yeah, so, but yeah, so shout out to him. Also the Kings. I mean, like once again, the new GM. I mean, I got people. I'm on Twitter and I see fans saying like, "Don't jump off the bandwagon." I'm like, dog. What? Like, why are you mad that people like mad at the Kings right now? Like, why do you watch last season? We got rid of Mike Brown and Fox, bro. For what?
Right.
Like, come on. We like look at the history of the Kings. We have no reason to believe in what's going on right now. I'm okay with seeing it to believe in right now. I'm not about to put all my trust in no GM when I'm not doing that. I've done that for years, AJ, and it failed me. All right. I'm about to see it to believe it. And you only got 1 year, my man. I gotta see 1 year. I'm not saying make a splash, but I gotta see what direction. I gotta see what you're doing. If I see some stupid stuff, I'm not gonna be done with the Kings, but like, man, I'm just back to watching mediocre basketball, bro. Like I'm back to watching the Kings, knowing we're not gonna do nothing. Like that sucks, bro. You know. So, but the Commanders, different feeling.
That's where the hope lies.
It's different feeling, man. I'm excited. So, Ron Rivera. I'm excited. Woof. Dan Quinn. Sorry, I said Ron Rivera. Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn. I mean, so polished in his speeches. They always talk about Jaden Daniels, how he's like everybody always talk about he's so talented. He said, yo, his attitude and work ethic is actually better than his talent. Like you look at Jaden Daniels and say, oh, he's talented. How can you bring the work ethic? No, the work ethic was here. And his attitude was here. He's just a talented player. Like that's extra. So man, I'm hearing all good stuff, AJ, and I think Jaden Daniels about to take it to a different level this year. I mean, everybody keeps on CJ Stroud. I told you, this ain't CJ Stroud. He different. He is different. So shout out to you also on Face, and yeah, man, let's get it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody that tuned in today, man. We had a whopping, I think the number as high as it went was like 58. So shout out to everybody who tuned in to today's episode. That might be a high. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. Everybody watching from my channel, everybody watching from the R2L channel, we appreciate y'all. I love all y'all. Outside of that, man, Lakers, I ain't got much to say, man. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Get in shape. Get the team right. Get you some big, some lengthy defenders. I feel like I'm going to say the same thing at the end of every episode. Y'all got your work cut out for y'all. Y'all got your work. I'm not in the camp of you can't win a championship with Luka. I'm not in that camp. I think me and you agree on the same take with that stuff, Joe. You got to build a team around him. But if you build a team around Luka, we've seen what he can do. So let's get that team built around Luka and move forward. And you talk about JD5 work ethic. Hey, man. Super Bowl MVP was in the lab right after the game. Super Bowl win MVP. He said, I'm going to go celebrate the parade. I seen him, gave him a salute. Shout out my dog. He said, I'm headed to the gym. I said, I feel you, bro. Go ahead, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? We need another one. You know what I mean? So he was in the lab right away, man. Everybody locked in. Everybody focused, man. We seen A.J. Brown right after the game say, man, this is cool, but I get a better rush when I'm dominating the cornerback. When I look at that safety, he know he can't get over here in time. You know what I mean? When I look at the opposing team and they got their head down, I'm paraphrasing, of course. You know what I mean? Devontae Smith said, man, I feel the same way. You know what I mean? The Super Bowl was cool, but I get a rush from dominating guys. I'm ready to get back on the field. And they asked Jay Hurts today in the press conference. They said, now you've had some time to really think about the Super Bowl win. You know what I mean? How do you feel about it? You know what my dog said? Man, we sitting up here talking about the 2025-2026 season. On to the next question. So in honor of that, Jay Hurts, I'm with you, my boy. Let's move on. My dog's got me unfazed.
Unfazed. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.